So hello everyone, this is MegoChan, and as always, welcome back to my channel. I decided to take a little break from Dragon Age, as you can see, that's what my channel mostly consists of right now, and do something a little different. Well, somewhat different. This is a fan-made reimagined of King's Quest. It was released back in, what was it, 15, I believe? And I played it a while back, beat the game when I had it on the Xbox, and within the past year, my husband bought it for me for PS. Okay. I've been playing King's Quest since I was a little girl, all the way to the text-based one to what they are now. I stopped after 7 with Rosella. I didn't really play Massive. Oh, what was that one called? Mask of Eternity or something like that. But I heard about it from a friend of mine. But after 7, I started to kind of lose interest. And then I saw, and I got kind of hyped for what they could have done with Silver Lining. I don't know if anyone remembers that, but that, as far as I know, that never got finished. It got dropped, and so when I had heard this was gonna come out, and I saw screenshots of it, I got really hyped. So, let's start. Let's see here. Okay, that will do. Well, that's cool. I forgot about these. Okay. So as you go through the chapters, it'll unlock those little gallery scenes. And this is the CD version, which comes with all the chapters, and including this, which they added later on. I never played this one though on the Xbox, I don't think. Let's see here. So chapter 1 is when Graham is a teenager. Chapter 2 was right after he became king. And chapter 3, he was much older and was gonna get a wife. Chapter 4, he's middle-aged and adventure with his family. And then, of course, chapter 5, he's a very old man. And yeah, we'll get to that when we get to that. When I first played chapter 5, oh, it was tugging at my heart. And when we get to that, you'll see why. So let's start at chapter 1, A Night to Remember. Oh, that reminds me, I need to put on subtitles. Yeah, subtitles are on. That way people can read what's going on too. Okay. And I'll be quiet, of course, when they're talking. Not laggy at all. It was a little laggy on the Xbox when I played because it was a downloaded version. With the CD, it's much smoother.
I had not been back there in years, but it was the last place left to look. Those lost wishes weren't the treasure I was after.
In case anyone doesn't know, which I'll be real surprised if they don't, that is Christopher Lloyd. The legend. The man. And like what Pushing Up Roses said, I had to get used to Christopher Lloyd being the voice, but once I did, like her, it grew on me.
Those lost wishes weren't the treasure I was after.
Okay, that's all we can do with that.
It was not exactly as I remembered it, but it wasn't all that different either.
One thing I did love about this was the artwork. It's pretty good, considering. I don't know too much about this group, other than this game. I'll need to look into other stuff they've done.
Two odd contraptions guarded the lost treasure. I would have to turn one and see what happened.
Oh, and there will be some deaths that I'll do intentionally because, well, come on, it's King's Quest tradition. And a lot of them can be pretty funny. But I'll try not to die too much, though. Like so.
And that's what would have happened if I turned the left switch. But since I am here telling this story, you already know that I pulled the right one. Buckets, barrels, butter churns, and beds were jammed into every nook and cranny of that cave. It all seemed so familiar. Even though the bed was very comfortable, this was no time to hide under the covers.
Wait. Hold on, Grandpa. I don't remember this part of the story. Beds hanging from stalactites?
We'll get there, Gwendolyn. Don't worry. No detail in this story will be overlooked. Now, where was I? Ah, yes. As I treaded through the river of rumbling trundles, I feared I knew the source of that deafening wind. Nestled beneath a slumbering pile of teeth and claws was...
Fabled mirror.
Oh, so you remember this part of the story.
Well, dragons are my favorite.
Do you want to tell this part?
Yes. King Edward sent me, the greatest knight in all of Daventry, on a quest to return his stolen mirror. A gigantic, hulking beast of a dragon was the last thing in my way to... My way, too. Add a shinier hat to my collection.
This may be more of a challenge. The settings on my TV is kind of dark, so let's see how this goes. Somehow the picture is darker.
I tried to turn that crazy contraption, but it was missing a handle. Someone tampered with it, creating some silly conundrum.
Conundrum. Har. Oh, so pretty.
As I was saying, this was no time to take a nap. Volumes of old books with foreboding titles clutter the shelves of that strange bedroom. How to Tame a Dragon, Breaking the Spirit of Hideous Beasts, amateur spells to impress your friends with. No books about recovering missing handles, though. Volumes of old books with...
So, the missing handle was booby-trapped? What did you do?
Well, I used my cleverness to outsmart the trap. Then I used my cleverness to hide. That's how I knew the dragon appreciated my good taste.
Grandpa, another pun?
Well, we are just getting started.
One thing I love in this game are the puns. Okay.
As I was saying, this was no time to take a nap.
Sure it is.
All right. I took a brief rest before I decided to adventure on with that very important treasure. Guilty. I took a second nap.
Alright, let's try this again.
So, the missing handle was booby-trapped? What did you do?
Well, I used my cleverness to outsmart the trap. Then I used my cleverness to hide. Luckily, that half-blinded beast never noticed me in bed.
A dragon's eye must be really hard to pierce with an arrow. At archery lessons, I can barely hit a hay bale.
It is indeed a feat only for skilled archers. I tried to turn that crazy contraption, but it was missing a handle. Someone tampered with it, creating some silly conundrum.
What did you use to fix the broken switch?
The dragon's chains were coiled around a gigantic switch mounted to the cave wall. This cave seemed to be filled with failed adventures. After he briefly basked in the sun, the narcoleptic dragon went back to snoring.
I probably sleep all day too, if Amira was my only friend.
I never noticed the guy in that bed is dead.
After I was impaled by that spiky bed, I took a nap and decided the magic mirror could wait another evening before being rescued.
Grandpa!
Well, I thought maybe it was your bedtime, but I can continue.
Wait a minute. Does this mean our family's immortal?
Success.
You marched right into a ferocious dragon's mouth.
I was just making sure you were still paying attention.
Alright. Guess that's... Oh, playing scenes though. Yeah.
You do not stick this to anything.
Squishy.
Whoever designed this trap thought they were pretty clever, but I would probably find a way to hit that unreachable switch.
Alright? Show Mama your wizard. Go show Mama.
I'm showing you this sticky thing.
Alright, let's continue. What's this? Oh, it's a chaka. I'm gonna... Poor chaka, yeah. It's always a sad part too when we get to that. I love the chaka. Chaka. I wonder if she can... Nope. Just doesn't kill you. I can't remember if you could die this way or not.
The mirror called out to me. A ridiculous feeding contraption was cobbled together to keep the beast and probably its owner alive. With the magic mirror safely in my possession, I dreamt of the Daventry I would be rewarded with, and the kingdom it could become.
Okay.
In that split second, I had three choices in front of me. Any would clear my path to safety, and all would have rippling consequences.
I don't kill dragons. At least not in this game.
My hands were shaking and my arms could barely grip the rope, but with the last of my strength, I climbed out of the well and headed back to the castle. Ever since the magic mirror returned, its reflections have warned the kingdom of danger, kept our family safe, and it has exposed many troublesome crumbs tangled in my beard.
Yeah. King Edward was so proud that you returned his lost treasure that he made you king. Everyone knows that part. Now, can we get back to that dragon?
Gwendolyn, there is so much more to my stories than dragons. I hope this old cap will be remembered for far more than the action tattered across its brim, sewn into the seams of many hidden adventures. All right, let's get back to the dragon.
Tell me everything. Like, why did you set the dragon free even though he was trying to eat you?
I set him free because, well, over the years I realized that the dragon was not the despicable, hideous beast Daventry had made him out to be. He was just a caged animal that was never shown any kindness. On that day, I forgave the dragon for his atrocious past.
You have such a bizarre way of making friends, Grandpa. I guess I do too. I'm known as Gwendolyn the Popular back home. But only to my stuffed bunnies.
I've always found it best to pursue friends where I can, though they don't always feel the same about me.
All right, you two. Grandpa needs to rest. Gwendolyn, it's way past your bedtime.
Sleep well, Grandpa. I'll be back first thing in the morning.
I don't need rest. I'm as spry as I've ever been, though I wouldn't mind a slice of magic fruit.
Magic fruit? I love the little nods to all the games.
Well, hello, cousin.
Guard!
I'm glad you're finally here. He's been asking about you for days. I had to sit through the same story 5 times.
We got here as fast as we could. And I like Grandpa's stories, especially the ones with dragons.
Ah, yes, the legendary beast that he set free. I don't know if he forgets I've heard that story before or he doesn't care, but he loves telling it to anyone that will listen. I'm pretty sure I heard the nursemaids telling his same jokes in the hall.
Have you heard anything the doctors are saying?
Yes, doctors, wizards, magic elves. Grandfather is fine, Gwendolyn. They all say the same thing. He's just old. He still has a few good years left. Look, we're all excited that your family made the trip, but there's no need to worry. You should get some rest. I'm sure you're scheduled for a full morning of Grandfather's hilarious ramblings.
Oh, I'm also scheduled for the tournament tomorrow.
Ah, yes, the fencing tournament. You'll love it. I'm, of course, favored to win, and will make sure you have the very best seat to view my victory. The courtyard will be filled with important people and delicious hors d'oeuvres.
Oh, I'm actually competing in the tournament.
I had no idea we were hosting a junior tournament. That's incredible. In that case, I will gladly be there to cheer you on and eat delectable appetizers.
Nope, no junior tournament. I'll be squaring off against you.
I see. Well, perhaps this is the time to stop listening to stories and finally make some of your own. Good night, Gwendolyn. Sleep well.
Come in, Gwendolyn. You can set those on the nightstand.
Grandma said to take 3 spoonfuls of each.
I'll get to those. No need to fuss over me. Now, let's talk about far more important issues, like that fencing tournament. I hear you're competing.
Well, I signed up, but I'm not so sure anymore.
Nonsense. If it's Scott you're worried about, he's no bother. After all, I only learned that you entered after he complained about it all morning. Threatened, I'm guessing.
Anthony, no.
There are many ways to win a duel. I, for one, have always been fond of treating my opponents with respect. You'll be surprised what opens up to you. A lovely fellow once told me the fastest way to anyone's heart is through their stomach. Speaking of, that reminds me of a story. One I know you haven't heard before. When I was a much younger lad, before I was a knight, before I'd been to Daventry,
He's
and even
funny
before
when
I'd
he's
seen
stressed.
a dragon. It's a tale about a tournament that changed
He's
my
not
life.
as compassionate,
story,
but
but I
still
shall tell it
entertaining.
Well, Triumph, this looks as good a place as any to camp for the night. Let's rest up. We have a big day tomorrow.
Oh, jeez. See if I can do this without hitting anything. Ah! I guess not. I guess he's bound to hit something eventually. Ah! Jeez! Whoops! Ow. Oh. Teenager Graham.
After
Okay.
gracefully rappelling down the cliff, I welcomed the sight of an actual road, the first sign of civilization. Daventry was just a few miles to the east. I'd read all about its wonders in my travel books. I couldn't wait to check out its famous, fantastical floating island.
Jeez. Triumph's way up there.
Grandpa, you can't leave Triumph.
Don't worry, Triumph can fend for himself. We've been through our share of sticky situations, but he always comes around when I need him most. After all that graceful rappelling, I was certainly not headed back that way.
Oh, why not?
As I was saying, I followed the road to the east and headed to the night tournament.
See. It's right there.
East.
No, I don't want to. I'll go.
Suddenly, a gust of wind pushed me down the road, and I headed east.
It makes you go east.
And now there's a tree there.
Okay, fine.
Hey! Over here!
I could have sworn the parade of hopeful knights was scheduled for the next day. I should have been with them, marching with triumph. It seemed my first few minutes in Daventry were off to a terrible start.
So, how did you catch up with them?
Hmm.
That odd horn seemed to be missing some sort of mouthpiece. The horn was broken, but that didn't stop me from blowing on it. Realizing a lot of people probably put their mouth on that horn, I was disgusted. I slowly backed away and never blew that horn again.
Oh, sure. Ding. This is me you're talking about.
Truth is, I didn't care about the germs. It was fun. Eventually, I got tired of blowing that horn and continued my journey.
Oh my goodness.
Blow that horn. You gotta find your horn.
I gotta find a horn piece.
Okay, that's a lie. I blew on it one more time. It just made me feel good on the inside. All right, I'm not ashamed. I blew on that germ-ridden, broken horn more times than I will ever admit. There's no need to even comment on it anymore.
Alright, like... What happened here?
Good job. You got my pencil.
Stuck what to your back?
Strange tracks blazed a trail through the forest.
pretty.
I wondered what those birds needed a toolbox for. Shame. The only tool left seemed to be a small hatchet. And no, Gwendolyn, before you start asking me thousands of questions about that hatchet, I did not go around using it on everything.
Seems like a waste of money.
There was no reason to chop down that perfectly good tree. That wheel seemed freshly broken. The wheel was already broken. No sense rubbing it in.
Seems like a waste of money.
Okay, buddy.
Stand back, you dirty thieves! Wah! Oh, it's just a boy. Don't know where he's from, but it must be hard to pronounce. You know, you should never sneak up on a guy in a dangerous place like... No! What's wrong with your foot? Probably stepped on a spiniferous thornweed. Don't worry, I got just the fix for that. Tell me, is it more of a... Ow! Or a... Oh! Either way, the Merchant of Miracles has got you covered. But it'll cost you. I've risked my neck to forage the most rare, miraculous, mysterious, and oftentimes delicious ingredients. Ah, here it is. I massage this into my skin twice a day, and just look at my little biscuits. Well, now that I've mulled it over, you'd better not. It might stunt your growth. Ooh, such exquisite material. Hey. I knew you weren't from around here. Well, you best get going. Nobody likes a late night. Oh, wait, you're stuck here with me. Every bridge in is out, and my shortcut had a few shortcomings. I swear that rock leaped straight out of the water. Now I'm stuck here with no wheel, a lost toolbox, and Mr. Fancy Cakes. Say, I'll bet a fine, strapping young man like you could help me fix up this wheel. Yup, you help me fix my chariot, and I'll give you a lift to the tournament. Hopefully no one else notices your horrible lack of punctuality. Oh, how rude. Do you have any questions for me?
Could you repeat that?
Try to keep up, son. Bridge is out, failed shortcut, flying rock, wheel broke, be a strapping lad, get tools, fix wagon, get a lift to the tournament. Find me a wheel, boy. Anything big and round should do the trick. Hang on to those, boy. I'd like to earn your money honestly. What? What happened to the rest of my tools? My wheel mending kit was in that toolbox. You expect me to fix this wheel with only a hatchet? Hatchets are for destroying, not for fixing. What kind of game are you playing here, boy? Oh, I know. Maybe I could use this blade to chisel a wheel out of driftwood. Or perhaps I could cut down a rubber tree plant and weave myself a wheel. You are not going to last 3 seconds in that tournament with that kind of stupid dream logic. Tell you what, you can keep my hatchet, but please bring me a real solution. You know, like a wheel, big, round, rolling, a wheel that goes here, like those.
Wow.
Oh, can I pet your goats?
Stay away from my majestic unicorns.
Unicorns? Isn't that a bit of string right there?
I said back away. Seriously, my boy, they aren't gonna pull this chariot without a wheel. I know. They're the most majestic creatures in the world. Mr. Fancy Cakes, I saw that look in your eye. Don't you dare touch my unicorns. They're for looking only. No, Mr. Fancy Cakes, you cannot eat his cape. I know. I wish we weren't returning here at this time of year, too. They haven't figured out eye transplants for unicorns yet, Mr. Fancy Cakes. Did you eat my retainer again? Okay, have a nibble of cape. Oh, Mr. Fancy Cakes, you were always my favorite. Other one, well, you keep doing you. Mr. Fancy Cakes, can you tell Two Eyes to stop chewing so loudly? Hey, other one, are you sure you deserve to be a unicorn? Your heart just doesn't seem to be in this. Other one, I know we're stuck here, but it doesn't mean you have to make our air quality inhospitable.
Oh, can I pet your goats?
Stay away from my majestic unicorns. Get that blade away from my unicorns. I'm warning you. My unicorns have little use for such material things. I, on the other hand, am happy to earn your life savings.
Unicorns? Isn't that a bit of string right there?
I said back away. Hey, stop it! Those unicorns may look cute and cuddly, but they are ferocious fighters when provoked. You do that one more time and I won't be able to quell Mr. Fancy Cake's vehement temper. Hey! How did his cape taste, Mr. Fancy Cakes? Find me a wheel, boy. Anything big and round should do the trick.